Greg, and I am out here on the road creating just as much havoc as I possibly can create. As you can see, there's no Charlie today. Charlie has gone on his way, and he's living with his girlfriend now in Tampa, Florida, and he's happy. At least I'm assuming he's happy. And everybody's happy where everybody's at. Now, if you were following me on Facebook, you probably know the reason why I haven't done a video in a while. The last week that Charlie drove with me, we were in such a hurry to get back because we were moving. That's right, my wife and I and my stepson and my stepdaughter were moving to Missouri. So we moved to Southeast Missouri over a weekend, and we've moved in down there, and I had a bus ride back from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. That was a trip. Going from Cape Girardeau to St. Louis wasn't too bad. When we got to St. Louis, we're on Greyhound, mind you. We get to St. Louis, they switched drivers because the lady that picked us up there, it was time for her to go home. So she went home, and we got another driver. No big deal. We pull out of St. Louis, and what they've got is they've got these little strips by the seat. If you've never ridden Greyhound, they've got these little strips by the seat. They got 110 plugs in them, where you can plug your phone in and charge it, or any other electrical stuff that you have with you. You can bring that and charge it. Well, when we left before we got to St. Louis, they were working just fine. After we left St. Louis, they weren't working. So I figured, oh well, I'll just wait. So the new driver gets onto I-44 in St. Louis, and goes west. We're going east. We're headed to Chicago. We got to go east to catch 55 to go north to Chicago. Duh! What'd she do? She drives west. Oh, no big deal, right? No, big deal. She drove an hour before she realized she was going the wrong way. They were already an hour and a half behind. So now we're another hour behind. On top of that, I have about a 3.5 hour layover in Chicago. So I'm thinking, I'm going to be okay. Then we get into Champaign, Illinois for her stop in Champaign, and she can't figure out how to get back to the freeway. She's driving through neighborhoods, and me and some of the other guys that are actual truck drivers, we're telling her, don't turn that, she turns it anyway. She's driving through neighborhoods. I mean, she's going through streets, and we got cars on this side parked on the side of the street. We got cars on that side parked on the side of the street, and she's just barely making it down the middle. We finally get back to the freeway, and we get to Chicago. I go in, got my bags. I go over to the ticket counter to check my bag, so it's checked through to Bay City, which is where I was headed. And I get in there, they no sooner than check my bags, and they call for boarding for my bus. So I got my bags, I went out, I got on the bus. Now at this point, in Chicago, we went from Greyhound to Indian Trails. It was like night and day. It was absolutely unbelievable, the difference between a Greyhound bus and an Indian Trails bus. Now, the Indian Trails, y'all notice that there's no sunshine on me anymore. You can still see it. That's why I kept moving the camera around, because I wanted to try and get it so y'all could see my ugly face. Anyway. We went ahead, and I got on Indian Trails, and when I got on Indian Trails, like I said, it was like night and day. I mean, they had a nice bus. The electric worked, and the guy that was driving it actually drove it like he knew what he was doing. We went into it was a bus stop at 95th Street in the Dan Ryan in Chicago. Now, we had stopped there on the way up, but coming back, we had to stop there again. This guy pulled right in there, and he just turned the corner, and he pulled it right around the corner. That other chick, man, she stopped, pulled a little further, stopped, pulled a little further. Okay, where do I go now? She actually said that. Okay, where do I go? She's driving the bus and she doesn't even know where she's going. I'm amazed I made it to Bay City. But we had several stops in Michigan on our way back to Bay City. Wasn't that big of a deal. But, I mean, when you were on Indian trails, it was like a completely different animal. So, I don't recommend riding Greyhound. But Greyhound goes just about everywhere. So, they don't go to Flint or to Bay City anymore. You got to catch Indian Hills. You catch Indian Hills in Chicago. Or Indian Trails, excuse me. But anyway, that was a trip. Well, we got down and got moved before that. And everything went well. It took us like 2 days to get everything loaded on the truck. It took us like 3 hours to unload it. But anyway, that all aside. I have one more thing I want to touch on before I wrap this up. And this is really disturbing to me. And I've noticed this for a long, long time. And it got more disturbing to me the other day. I walked into a truck stop. And I look over at the stalls, because I'm going in to use the bathroom, right? And I look over at the stalls, and one of the stalls is being used. No big deal. I don't use the stall anyway. So I go over to the urinal, and I do my business. And probably like many of you, I take and I walk away from the urinal, and I immediately go to the sink. I go to the sink, and when I get to the sink, of course, I get a little soap. I turn the water on. I wash my hands. In the mirror in front of me, I see the stall door behind me open. I see the gentleman walk out of the stall, cross behind me, and out the door. And I turned around, and I went like this and watched him go out the door. And I'm like, remind me not to shake hands with that guy. People, after you're done going to the bathroom, wash your hands. Okay? You go out there and anything you touch, your germs are now on it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to buy this bag of M&Ms. Oh, they got Snickers bars on sales. I'm going to put the M&Ms back, grab the Snickers bar. Guess what? The germs that were on your hands from when you used the toilet are now on that package of M&Ms. You don't know who's going to pick up that package of M&Ms. Kid could pick it up. Now the kid ends up sick because he's got your germs on his food. Well, on the package anyway. Then if he's eating a bag of M&Ms, he gets the germs on his hands. How's he going to eat the M&Ms? Just like Charlie eats potato chips. You don't want to see Charlie eat potato chips. He grabs a whole handful of them and just shoves them in his face, and then crumbs will go all down the front of him. And guess where they end up staying? On the front of him. Anyway. So please, people, please, when you're done using the bathroom, wash your hands. Doesn't take but a minute. Walk over, turn the water on. Hell, some of them you don't even have to turn the water on. Some of them have got the little sensors. You just put your hand under it and the water comes on. Turn the water on. Get your hands wet. A little bit of soap. Rub them together. Okay? It's real simple. Look, I'm going to try and set my phone down and do this, okay? You get soap on your hands, you rub them together like this, and you do it between your fingers, and you wash the back of your hands, and then you rinse them off. And then you go over to the paper towel holder, unless it's a place that doesn't have paper towels, they have one of them stupid air dryers. If they got an air dryer, you just wipe them on your pants, right? At least for the guys do. Go over to the paper towel holder, get some paper towel, dry your hands off. And what I usually do is I usually take a little extra. If it's one of the paper towel holders where you can get it out yourself, and it's not one of those ones where you stick your hand under it, you get this little piece of paper that isn't even enough to dry your fingers, get a little extra, dry off your hands, and then wipe around the sink. Just wipe the water that you splashed and washed your hands, just wipe it off the sink and throw it in the trash. It's that simple. Doesn't take but a minute or two. It's not going to put your driving hours over if you're a truck driver, okay? It's real simple, and it's courteous for other people, and it's sanitary. That's the most important part. So, that was your community service announcement from Greg the Crazy Trucker here on the video of the day. Now, I'm gonna stop talking because y'all have listened to me yap long enough. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go back here and get me some dinner, and I'm gonna take a nap. Now, you might ask, Greg, what time is it where you're at? It is 12:44 in the afternoon. However, my day started at 11:30 last night. I love driving at night, but that is a subject for the next video of the day. So until next time, this is your host, Craig. I don't even know my own freaking name. And I'm not going to edit that out either. So until next time, this is your host, Greg the Crazy Trucker, saying, see ya! I wouldn't want to be ya.